Hi friends, welcome back to my channel Modern Quantity Surveyor Key Skills to Have. Learn at least one competency a week. So today we are going to talk about communication and negotiation. Without communication, each individual would merely be an island isolated from all other such islands. Effective communication is a key skill at work and in your personal life. And you must be able to communicate complex technical matters to both technical and non-technical people in a clear fashion. So this competency covers the way in which a quantity surveyor communicates in writing, graphically and orally. All RICS pathways include communication, and negotiation has a mandatory competency to at least level 2. At RICS competency level 2, you need to provide evidence of practical application of oral, written, graphic and presentation skills. For example, you need to know about reporting at meetings, oral communication, making presentations to clients, public speaking at seminars, have listening skills, graphical communication, writing emails, letters, reports, using CAD and Beam and so on. In terms of negotiation, which we will talk in the next video, you need to know about establishing authority, objectives, setting strategy, collecting and presenting evidence, and record keeping. So what is communication? Communication literally means to share in Latin. Communication is the process of sending and receiving information among people. There are three basic elements of communication, which are communicator, method, and recipient. There could be misunderstandings and confusion at all these three stages. So the communicator has to encode their message with the chosen communication method, and the recipient has to decode the communication to make sure he has understood the message, which is relayed to the recipient. Communication can be one-way or two-way. In one-way situation, we don't receive any immediate feedback like a letter or an email. Whereas in a two-way situation, verbal communication, we receive immediate feedback and can clarify or rectify misunderstandings. And this of course again depends on the other party if they are listening enough. Now, key considerations for communication are: who is your target audience? Are there any time limits or urgency required? Do you need to record your communication in writing? Is there a history of communication between the parties? What's the most appropriate method of communicating? What is your intended message? Ineffective communication can lead to time delays, frustration, stress, unforeseen costs, and contractual issues. Getting it right can lead to a more positive experience, potentially winning new work, doing a difficult deal, or resolving a complex situation. There are different methods of communication such as written, graphic, verbal, and non-verbal. We will look into all of these four one by one. Communication methods in written forms. A professional report style needs to be clear, concise, simple, and unambiguous. It's also important to consider who you are writing. For example, a client with little property experience will require a report written in a non-technical lay language. And if you are writing a report for another professional like you, you need to make sure there will be a good technical language used to explain complex ideas and challenges. Examples of written form of communications includes emails, website, memorandums, letters, reports, and so on. The second method is graphic communications. Graphic communications make written methods far more effective by reinforcing key themes, ideas, and messages. For example, a map can support a location commentary, or a photograph can be used to highlight elements of a property description. You can also sketch a floor plan to communicate what you saw on site back to the office. And it should be neat, drawn with a ruler and clear. Otherwise, you are wasting time and money just attending site one more time. Examples of graphic communications include table, bar chart, pie chart, line chart, and so on. The third method is verbal communication. Verbal communication needs to be appropriate for the purpose of the communication. Often, a telephone conversation or in-person meeting will be far more effective than a letter or an email. In some circumstances, you may need to keep a written record for your communication, so as to back up your verbal communications or to rectify a misunderstanding. Examples of this include informal face-to-face talk, interviews, debates, meetings, conferences, speeches, presentation, and so on. The last method, which is the non-verbal communication, is that the non-verbal signs form more than 80% of your communication. So getting it right is key to being an effective communicator. Even if you say what you mean, the message received on the other side may be completely different if your non-verbal signs or signals suggest something else. Examples include appearance, gesture, eye contact, postures, facial expression, paralinguistics, such as tone of voice, loudness, and pitch. There are some barriers to effective communication, such as the verbal ones, which could be language barriers, tone of voice, clarity, and even silence, what we don't say. There could be jargon and technical language, some terms which are not easy to understand, emotional or cultural barriers, timing of the communication. If recipient is disinterested and not paying attention, physical barriers such as arms folded or hand over mouth. Also, about more barriers include prejudice, bias, the location, that person cannot meet in person, the attitude, mood, listening skills, ambiguity, and content. So, how to be a better communicator? First point is to listen. Try to listen more than you speak. You can learn a lot about a person or situation this way. So, encourage people to talk to you and acknowledge what they say. Use silence. Often this can communicate a message better than words. Leave a gap in conversation. What the other person says to fill this can often tell you a lot. Third thing is to check your body language. Try to maintain a relaxed, open stance and friendly demeanor. If you appear defensive or closed, it can prevent effective communication or deter others from engaging in productive dialogue. Fourth one is clarity. Be clear and concise in what you say or write. Avoid using unnecessary words and get to the point quickly where possible. Fifth is timing. Don't ask an important question first thing on a Monday morning or at 5 minutes to close on a Friday afternoon. Ask when your recipient has time to consider your communication. If they don't, ask when would be a good time to communicate. Don't hide behind emails. Use the phone and speak to your negotiating counterparts or clients rather than sending a bland email. You are often able to explore alternative opportunities or other ways to overcome challenges. It's often also a lot quicker to reach a resolution or agree a course of action. Seventh is feedback. Adapt your communication to the feedback you receive. Maybe it would be better to meet your recipient in person or to follow up your conversation with an email. Or maybe you need to clarify what you said to prevent a misunderstanding. Ask open-ended questions to learn more about your recipient and enable you to communicate more effectively. 9. Remember to say the other person's name. It's one of the most emotionally powerful words to each of us. You don't need to say it often, but you do consider how you say it sincerely and positively. Lastly, learn from your mistakes. If your communication doesn't go well, ask for feedback and analyze what went wrong. How could you do it better the next time? You can ask your trusted colleagues, family, or friends for feedback on your communication style and success. So, as a quantity surveyors, I'm sure you must have experienced these different settings like socializing in professional settings, running meetings, sending emails, presenting your ideas, you are getting criticized or you have to ask something to your boss. I have a different video how to handle communication in all these 8 different scenarios as a quantity surveyors in the upcoming video. So learn at least one competency a week And are you ready? Thank you. Please subscribe to my channel, Model Quantity Surveyor.